Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today, which will be presenting Foundation software and also WorkMax, Foundation's newest sister company that falls under that umbrella. Today, we're going to be doing a presentation on 4 job costing must-haves. And I have 2 people with me to present on each side. One of them on the Foundation side is Tom Greco. He is our regional sales manager here at Foundation Software. And then I also have Ron Kraft on the WorkMax side. He's a regional sales manager on that end. So we're going to go ahead and get the presentation rolling. And again, thank you everyone for joining in. We're going to go ahead and have Tom start it off.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining today. Happy to have everybody here. Also happy to have Ron from About Time WorkMax with us, as well as Dylan from Foundation Software. Today's webinar is going to talk about the 4 job costing must-haves. So our goal today is to give everyone a nice overview of both Foundation Software from an accounting software product and also tie in WorkMax to kind of give you a holistic view of how we can use both technology from the field and current technology in the office to bridge the gap between collecting labor in the field, which then would roll into Foundation Software. And really, we've broken down today's presentation into 4 bullet points here with 4 job costing must-haves. Number 1, probably one of the more important parts, is live job costs. Our goal is to present a way to capture that detailed labor from the field, how we can then take that detailed labor, translate it into usable reports, explore some of those avenues, and kind of show you how both products come together. Also, the right job, right employee, the right time, that can't be said enough, where, making sure accuracy from the field is important. And with WorkMax, we're going to go ahead and show you how easy it is to use in the field to nail the right job, right employee, and the right time. And then live unit production reporting, that's going to be something that, if we're looking to track quantities completed or any of those types of detailed things that we do in the field on a daily basis, Ron's definitely going to highlight a lot of what WorkMax can do in that area. And then most importantly, why we're both here today is the integration. We can't say it enough, as much as we both see in our day-to-day work life that, there's a severe disjointed collection of time when it comes to what happens in the field to what gets back to the folks in accounting. And that time costs money. It also costs a lot of people the ability to see their time and their jobs in real time. And we're going to go ahead and show you guys how both of those products are integrated. Now, a little bit about Foundation for those that don't know who we are. We are a job cost accounting solution. And the big thing with Foundation is we want to provide you with powerful job costing, payroll, and then also project management. So having that everything talking to each other approach is really what we look for in our product. And when we talk about collecting time today, a lot of times we see a lot of companies struggle with certified payroll. When we want to collect that time from the field by leveraging WorkMax, that's half the equation. Then after that, what do we do with that time? How can we job cost it? How can we better make everybody's life easier when it comes to, payroll going out the door and producing those certified payroll? We're going to go ahead and show you how Foundation does that. And definitely it's a secure software access. Being able to access your accounting solution anywhere, anytime is important. And then also from a company perspective, everything we do is in-house, meaning it's all personalized training and support. And, from our side, we don't tend to like to outsource any of that. So when you deal with Foundation, you deal with Foundation only. And most specifically, one of the main topics today is integration. How can we have 2 best of breed solutions come together to make things real time and accurate? I'm going to go ahead and jump into Foundation initially, and then kind of show you some output of what we can do on the accounting side. And then I will pass it to Ron, and then Ron will cover the WorkMax side. So what you see on the screen here is what I would consider the main menu of Foundation. From here, it's a clean, easy layout. You don't have to click multiple times to get through everything. And the big push here is making sure that we do things once, and we do them once and they're integrated throughout the whole software. So from, one of the main points of job costing, and one of the main points of the four major job cost necessities is going to be the reporting side, definitely. And from our side, we typically see a lot of paper time cards. We see a lot of I don't know where the job is at any point in time. We see a lot of people having to go from off-the-shelf accounting solution to Excel and that back and forth, where with Foundation and WorkMax, we're looking to eliminate all of that. We can deploy WorkMax in the field. Ron will show you how easy it is for individuals to code their time to jobs. That information gets pushed back into Foundation, where now we have real-time numbers that we can look at. Probably one of the more easier ways for me to show that would be this executive dashboard here. So it's a real easy tool that comes with every rollout of Foundation that's going to give everybody a lot more of a clear, bigger picture of where their jobs really are. And from the software, as we not only talk about labor, if we have equipment costing, if we're tracking production and quantities, if we're billing jobs, if we have inventory, all that stuff comes together in the system, so that when I come into Foundation, whether I come into Foundation once a day, every other day, once a week, I'm confident that Foundation is the source of truth, and it has all of our accounting and job costing talking at the same time. A very easy way for me to see, just top down kind of bird's eye level view of job costing is just simply drilling into that graph. And from here, I can see pretty much everything about every job that I have in the system. One of the other nice things about Foundation, since it's built for accounting and it's built for construction accounting specifically and only, when we look at things in here, we're going to include change orders. We're going to include committed costs, billings. So from our side, we should be able to see jobs, whether they're underbilled or overbilled, whether we're seeing billings and costs and actual margins. All that information is just simply a couple clicks away. Now, when I drill into a specific job here, we've made it easy for everybody to kind of pick and choose what areas of the job they want to analyze. So we don't have to pull 10 different reports. We don't have to pull 10 different spreadsheets. All the data lives in the system, and I'm able to see where all my job cost is at real time. From here, if I want to drill into that job's cost to date and get a nice estimate versus actual breakdown, from Foundation side, we want to give you the ability to set these jobs up with budgets, have estimated cost, have estimated quantity. If we're looking to track production, we're going to show you how easy it is to enter that information in WorkMax, but all that information should come back to here. I should also be able to drill into any cost code here and get a next layer underneath it. So if I'm looking to kind of track the different levels within a job, I don't need a spreadsheet anymore. It all lives in the system. So whether I'm entering a payable invoice, whether I'm coding equipment to a job, and most specifically what we're talking about today, labor, right? If we want to see labor dollars, burden dollars being job costed real time, estimated hours versus actual hours, we're able to leverage both WorkMax and Foundation to produce these nice, easy drill down reports. And from here, I'm able to drill into labor, and I can see all the time cards that came over from WorkMax. So anytime labor is coded to a specific job, it's coded all the way through. We're getting people to do pretty much all the handiwork for us in the field by using WorkMax to allow them to fill all those buckets. Hey, tell us what job you worked on. Tell us what cost code you worked on. Tell us how long you worked there. Obviously, there'll be an approval process that Ron will cover, but we want that information to easily flow into our accounting system so that we can just point and click and see where everything is at. Now, one of the other byproducts, especially in the subject of what we're talking today, labor, right, is certified payroll. So those that use, once again, somewhat of an off-the-shelf solution, they're really kind of hamstrung on having to do certified payroll manually. And as you know, that is somewhat of a pain in the butt and takes a lot of time, leaves room for error, and it's not really a process that a lot of people like to do. So one of the other byproducts of having time entered in from the field and job costed correctly is once payroll goes out the door, we're going to be able to produce the certifieds automatically out of Foundation. So as Ron covers how time is entered, and they're coding that time to that specific job, they're doing all the legwork for us. So these reports should come directly out of Foundation, already pre-filled, ready to go once labor goes out the door. So it's a huge time saver, and it allows you to kind of spend some more time doing more important things than having to do, once again, that back and forth. I'm entering stuff in System A, and then I have to go into Excel and do my spreadsheet-driven certified payroll. And that should be something that comes right out of the software. Over/under billing, somewhat falls into the must-haves when it comes to job costing too as well. A lot of times we speak to a lot of companies that do this report manually as well. So it tends to take, once again, more time, having to once again go back to your off-the-shelf system, your spreadsheet for your WIP, your change orders are in 10 different places. Well, we want to eliminate that and have all that in one system again, where we can, at the end of the month or end of the quarter, end of the year, come into Foundation, put in the necessary date ranges, run our over/under billing, and it's done. We do not have to do this manually anymore. So I just want to kind of give you a nice little brief overview of Foundation. Obviously there's a lot more to it, and we're always available for demonstrations. If anybody on today's webinar wants a lot more information about the system, going through, AP or going through service or inventory, we're always open to spending time with everybody to cover a little bit more detailed demos. But today, just with today's brief overview, I wanted to kind of group it with what Ron's going to cover, so we can talk about, hey, these are the nice things that we can get out of a construction-specific accounting solution, and Ron's going to talk about how we get the data there. I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Ron.
All right, great. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. Hello, everyone. Good to meet you and good to be with you today. Excited to be able to show you guys a little bit of WorkMax today. As Tom mentioned, WorkMax here now is the new product with the Foundation family. So I'm going to go through and show you specifically our focus today, like Tom had mentioned, kind of those 4 must-haves as far as job costing. So let me share my screen. Go ahead and jump in here with you. Okay, perfect. Just to give you a quick background too on who we are as a company, WorkMax, we are a cloud-based field data collection tool for construction. We've been partnered with Foundation for a long time, 10, 12 plus years, and we here now are officially a part of the Foundation family. It was a natural fit because we do already have a direct database connection with Foundation. And as Tom was mentioning and explaining, that WorkMax, we basically feed the data from the field to the office and then back to Foundation. All right. Our goal is to just help to streamline and automate the processes and also improve the accuracy of the data. Okay. WorkMax, we focus in kind of 4 key areas: employee time tracking, we do digital forms, we can track equipment and tools, and we do the job progress and job productivity. So today, again, we're going to show you a little bit on those 4 job costing must-haves. And as we go through this, we're going to show you what that looks like in the field, in the office, and that kind of job visibility. First and foremost, that live job cost, budgeted, really seeing that budgeted versus actual. Our system is a real-time clock in, clock out, so it gives you live data. Here, what we're looking at is what we call the control center. And in the office, this is where you're able to drill down and see all of your jobs, all of your projects broken down by budgeted units and hours and what's been completed. So if I select one of these jobs here, okay, I've got this Sunridge Condos project. This is the entire job broken down by task and the budgeted hours and units. Now these units, this could be, so many linear feet of this, so many square feet of this, so many cubic yards of that, or what have you, right? This data we do pull over automatically from Foundation through our integration. So if this detail is in your job details in Foundation, that'll pull over to our system automatically. But now, based off of what's been completed, so what's been reported from the field, just having the guys clocking in and out on the app and reporting those units, those production, we can take this data and then analyze it to show you what your current pace is and how you're trending, right? Here's how many we're averaging per hour, but if we continue on that pace, here's how we're going to end up with our trend. So you can see here, this job, here on these we're positive, we're doing great, but over here on these tasks we are behind, right? Now the really, really cool thing and the powerful thing here with WorkMax is that this is live data. You can see here this was just updated a minute ago, right? So we're not having to wait till after payroll, a week later or more, to find out that we're behind. Okay, so super powerful to have this level of detail in real time. Again, taking your jobs, your projects, breaking those down with the budgeted hours and units, and then analyzing the data to give you this visibility. Now, all of this data comes just from having the guys clocking in and out on the app. I'm going to switch over to the mobile app real quick and just show you what that looks like. I'm going to pull up my phone, okay, just right here on my desk, and we have the WorkMax app installed. I'm going to come here and pin in as an employee. Oops, let's go back and choose this guy. All right, so we've got Joseph here who's going to clock in. When he goes to clock in, we do facial recognition to help eliminate any buddy punching. We also do GPS tagging to make sure that they're actually on site when they're clocking in and out. Here, though, is where they can select which job, which project, or location. This is where it comes back to that second point of 4 job costing must-haves: the right job, the right employee, and the right time. Everything in WorkMax is permission-based, so you control what they can see and do on the app. If you have different departments, different divisions, different groups, and you only want these guys over here working on these jobs, those guys over there working on those jobs, this is how you're able to limit and restrict what jobs or codes they have access to. Again, helping to ensure that the right job is being reported on. So if we go ahead and select one of these jobs here, let's grab just this one here. And now they're going to select their code, their task, right? What are they doing while they're there? These obviously are going to be your codes that we can pull over either from Foundation. So they select their task and then just confirm. So that sends the data back to the office. If we switch over here in this control center to the time module, okay, we're going to look at today's date, right? So there's Joseph. He's just clocked into this job. Here's what he's doing, date, time. So it's automated and in real time that you see that. These alerts on the left-hand side, this is going to tell you if there's a discrepancy, like with their facial recognition or the GPS. So you can then drill down and view those details, again, just to ensure that they're actually on site when they're clocking in and out, or that there isn't any buddy punching going on. WorkMax will compare these images and then alert you if there's any discrepancies. Now, when he goes to clock out, all right, let's say he's done for the day. We're going to switch back over here to the app. He puts the PIN number back in. He's done. We're going to go ahead and clock out. We're going to get the facial recognition again, but now you see right here, it is required for him to put in his units or his production. How many linear feet of that did you do, right? We'll put in our units. I also have a couple of other settings that I've turned on. One right here where we can require forms when they clock in, when they clock out. He's clocking out for the day, great. He needs to click right here and fill out his daily report, right? So we can come in here, get the job details, they can answer questions. We can even take pictures, video, we can get signatures, notes, all kinds of things. So they can fill these out. and you can require that when they clock out. The other setting I have turned on is they have to sign off and review. So here's their time for today. I'm gonna go ahead and use my finger and sign. Now he can clock out and just click confirm. So again, that's complete. Sends that data back to the office. If we refresh this page, let's go here to just refresh. So he's clocked out, and now we've got his units in production, and he signed off on his time, and I can see that there's a form attached with his record. So this data, as simple as that is, literally just a couple simple steps. They put their PIN number in, they select the job and or the code, and then confirm. We then capture that data, and this is what feeds these productivity dashboards. So that third point, live unit production reporting. So we're getting this right here. This was updated just a few seconds ago. We see where they're at, if we're ahead, if we're behind. This is not only going to help you stay on top of the budget for that project. Going forward, though, now you've got better accuracy with the data for bidding, for estimating, identifying who your top performers are. You know, hey, we're doing great on this, we're doing not so great on that. Now this data, this information, which is super powerful to be able to see in office, you know, for your PMs, for your management team, or whoever. We, though, here at WorkMax, we also give you the ability to push this same data back out to the field. If I go back to the mobile app, I'm going to put that PIN number in again for Joseph. Remember, we can clock in. He's got his forms that he can fill out. But if I scroll down to the bottom, he also has insight. Okay, so he can go right here and look at that exact same job. Okay, we're looking at job 69, the Sunridge condos. Right, so here's that project, and he's seeing the same thing that we are back in the office. But this is boots on the ground, right? These are guys in the field. So now he's seeing right here, hey, guys, we are behind on these tasks. And now they can pivot, they can allocate resources and stay on top. Okay, I liken this to having the scoreboard in the field. I mean, these guys are out there, heads down, working hard. They don't know if they're winning or losing, but this is the scoreboard. This gives them that visibility to see where they're at. So super powerful and super impactful for your business and making sure that you stay on top of the budget. And again, live and real time. And then lastly, that fourth point is the integration. Like Tom talked about, we do have that direct integration with Foundation. So we pull that data from the jobs, from those details into WorkMax. We collect that data here in the mobile app as they're clocking in and out. You then see that back here in the office in real time, and we can then integrate that and send it back to Foundation as well for your reporting and job costing. Okay. So that's WorkMax, and that's the insight module of WorkMax, is getting those productivity dashboards, giving you that live visibility, showing budgeted versus actual and where you're at with your jobs, and easily capturing that information from the field through the mobile app. Okay. I want to give us a few minutes here before we end our time, just to make sure that we answer any questions and open that up a little bit. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. There's a lot more to WorkMax. Obviously, we wanted to focus on just this piece of it today. And so if you do have questions, or if you would like to see more, please feel free to reach out and enter in the questions and comments, and we'd love to show you more of that. So I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen, and we'll pass that back over to, I guess, Tom, if you had anything, or maybe Dylan, we want to start answering any questions that might have been submitted.
Yeah, definitely. So I wanted to make sure that everybody was aware that there should be an area within your GoToMeeting player that you'll be able to type those questions in, and we'll go through pretty much all of them today. And obviously, if there aren't any that we go through, we collect all this information. We will be following up with individuals that attended today. Everybody should get a recorded copy of this as well, which would include my information that you see on the screen as well as Ron's. And we'll go through some questions. first question would be, can you track labor only, or do you have to use units and labor hours? Ron, I think that would be a question for WorkMax.
Sure. Yeah, great question. Yes, you can just do labor or hours. The units or production is not required. That's just a setting that you can enable if you need it.
You might have been breaking up there a little bit, Ron.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me okay?
Did we lose you?
Nope. Tom, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, sorry about that. No, you can just track time and labor. You do not have to report units or production. That is not required. That's just a setting that you can turn on if needed.
Good deal. And the second question is, do the actual completed units push back into Foundation to update % complete job cost reports? I think
Yes.
from our perspective, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I mean, on the WorkMax side, as any of the data that we capture in our system, we can export and push back to Foundation. We map those data fields so that way the correct data goes to the correct locations and to the right jobs. Then on your side, Tom, on the Foundation, you know, that's where the job costing and the reporting happens. But yes, we can pull that from WorkMax, those reported units in production.
Excellent. Yeah, and from our side, you know, along with the units that come over and as well as the hours and labor dollars, that too can also funnel up or funnel down into the job cost reports as far as percentage of completion as well. I've done some pretty interesting reports back in the day where, you know, taking those units that would come from WorkMax, you know, obviously doing your, you know, quantity divided by man hour production reports, as well as, you know, the percentage of completion, or any kind of custom reports that uses that information that comes into Foundation from WorkMax, you know, could be generated into some type of percentage of completion report. Next question is, can you make real-time edits on time cards from the office?
Yes, in the control center, which is that online view in WorkMax, you do have the ability to edit those records as they're being submitted from the field. That is a user role, so it depends on who you want to give access to do so. But yes, you do have full access to edit and change any of the records, update or change the date, the time, the job, the code, anything.
Thank you, Ron. And the next question, how does the clock in, clock out work in the field without a mobile device? What about breaks and lunches? And can WorkMax be used for both hourly and salaried employees?
Yes, yes, and yes. So well, WorkMax, so there's two sides to the system. There's the control center, which is an online dashboard for the office, right? You're seeing all those records as they're submitted. The other side is the system is the mobile app. That mobile app is specific to any Apple device or Android, phone or tablet. Now, there are multiple workflows as to how we collect the data from the field. It does not have to be on an individual phone. You could have a kind of a dedicated tablet, you know, maybe that the foreman has, and then everyone just comes up to that device to punch in and punch out, kind of a kiosk type setting. There's also the option to just have that done at a crew level. So the foreman, the supervisor, they can just clock in their entire crew all together at once. So there's options there. But yes, the mobile app is specific to an iOS or Apple device and or Android. Lunches, breaks, there's settings in WorkMax that we can customize. Shift rules, overtime rules, auto lunches. They can either clock in and out for lunch, or we can just set a rule that says we're going to deduct X amount of time at the end of the day from your total. So there's options there for handling those. And then the third one, I'm sorry, Tom, what was that last part of that question there?
Can it be used for both hourly and salaried employees?
Sure. Yeah, you can. We do have a lot of customers in that scenario where your salaried employees, we don't necessarily need to track their time for payroll per se, but we do need to log hours to a job. So they can do that, and they can either do that through the mobile app, or there is also an option in the control center, so just through the web browser, where they can put time in that way. Then when we export the data and we send it back to Foundation, we can have multiple exports. We can set up different templates. This is the export for hourly. This is the export for salary employees. So we can exclude those hours for payroll, but we still want that data for job costing.
Excellent. The next question is there communication between WorkMax and payroll for construction? Yes, definitely. With WorkMax and payroll for construction especially, we use the term payroll for construction is powered by Foundation software. So if we're able to integrate Foundation with WorkMax, payroll for construction would follow suit and definitely be able to integrate too, which is something that we could leverage both from the payroll service side as well as the Foundation software accounting side. Next question is, if we have 7 laborers on a project, is there a grid time card to help save time of inputting each person's time card?
Yes, one of the other options for time collection is, instead of real-time clock in, clock out, either individually or at a crew level, we do also have a digital timesheet. So it's more of just after the fact, right? So instead of clocking in and out, you could just have your foreman or your manager at the end of the day fill out this digital timesheet. Hey, we worked 8 hours and here's what that looks like. Boom, boom, boom. So yes, that is an option as well.
And is it efficient for? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. One last point on that. With these multiple workflows for the time collection, it's not an all or nothing type scenario. You can have a combination of those. Maybe for some guys you do need or want that to be done individually, but for these others, they're going to do it at with a digital timesheet, and that's fine. So you can have a combination of those. It's not an all or nothing type scenario.
And can the forms in WorkMax be in the field customized?
Yes, yeah. So the forms module in WorkMax is a fully customizable form builder. It's unlimited forms that you can have in there, and these are all customizable. Anything from daily logs to change orders to inspection, checklist, reimbursement, what have you. And we do have a library actually of existing forms that you can have access to and use, or you can even just build your own, and then you can require those forms when they clock in and when they clock out.
And then we have another question. Can you track equipment from WorkMax?
Yes, one of our modules is called Assets, which does a couple of things. It allows you to, if needed, we can tag equipment with their time records. If that's billable time you're trying to capture, when they're clocking in, you could require them to also select a piece of equipment. That's an option. Our asset module is a management tool, really just to track who has it, where is it, when is it scheduled, and when is it due back. We also, through our integration with Foundation, we can connect to the equipment module as well. So all of that data can pass back and forth seamlessly.
Excellent. Now this one I think is for Foundation. Does this get integrated in payroll or just the job costing function? It would be integrated in both. So as we import that time back into Foundation, into our payroll module, it's already coded, it's already fully job costed. So it would integrate both on the payroll side, allowing us to process payroll, as well as being able to integrate with the job cost side once payroll goes out the door. Does WorkMax directly feed Does WorkMax feed directly to Foundation in such a way to be used to process payroll hours? Yes. Yeah, kind of along the same lines with the question before. That's the whole goal, right? Is for us to have that same ability to capture time, feed it into Foundation so that payroll hours can be processed, can be reviewed, can be job costed, so that we no longer have to use like paper time cards or any type of other time card function. We'd have direct integration.
Yeah, and just quickly on that point too, Tom, right in line with that, when we set up your WorkMax account, we have a direct database connection to Foundation. So we are able to auto import all of your jobs, all of your codes, all of your employee data. What that means is going forward, anytime you add a new job in Foundation, you add a new employee, you inactivate a job, that will update in WorkMax automatically. So there's no double entry. You don't have to download anything. That just runs in the background. Then going the other way, at the end of the week or the end of the pay period, we're ready to send that back for payroll. Then yeah, we just export that data. We format it so that it's specific to Foundation and export that back. All the data is already in the system. There's no manual entry of anything. It's literally a couple clicks of a button and we're done.
Another question we have is, can they log vacation or PTO?
So in WorkMax, we do have the ability to tag different pay types or earn, I think it's earn codes in Foundation, correct?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Where we're tagging hours as either regular, overtime, double time, or vacation, holiday, sick. So you can tag hours with a different earn code. WorkMax, though, it's not an HR system where they're going to, track, what their available balance is for PTO and how much they're accruing per pay period. That's more of an HR function, and that's not WorkMax. WorkMax, we're simply the data collection tool. We're collecting hours from the field, but then tagging those hours to jobs, to codes, to employees, or different earn codes. So you can tag with a different earned code, but it's not going to do any HR functions like PTO balances and things like that.
Good deal. Yeah, the PTO balances, as long as we're logging in with those earn codes, those would all funnel up into Foundation, where then if we have those accrual codes set up within the system, they should be linked to those accrual balances. So as PTOs may be entered in through WorkMax, it goes into the payroll module, it's processed. It would update the balances on our end. So we're able to log the hours or log the PTO in WorkMax and then have that feed into Foundation.
And one other piece to that as well is with the WorkMax forms, you could also have a time off request form. So if needed, they could just fill out and submit a form through the mobile app where they request time off. When they fill out forms in WorkMax, you can also turn a setting on to have that completed form auto emailed to a specific address or multiple addresses. So if a time request form gets filled out through WorkMax, you can have that routed to HR, to the manager, whoever, for approval.
Thank you, Ron. We have another question about performing multiple cost codes during the day. Do you need to clock in and out to each cost code to start a new cost code?
No, our system, we want to make it as simple and easy as possible. So if they're clocked into an existing job or code and they're moving to the next job or code, all they do is go back to the app, put their PIN number in, and then just clock in to the next thing, whether that's a job or a code. When they just clock into the next thing, the system is going to automatically clock them out of the previous. So they don't have to clock in, clock out, clock in, clock out. They just clock into the next. They can go throughout their day, clock into the next, clock into the next, clock into the next. At the end of the day, yes, they will clock out, but we then will have broken down and captured each record individually.
Thank you, Ron. And as far as the questions about cost, we'll make sure we get those to Ron. If there's obviously questions about cost with Foundation, I would be able to handle those as well. I think we have time for one more question. Can you apply overtime rules per job and per person? Do you have to input costs into WorkMax?
Great question. WorkMax has a really powerful settings engine, I guess you will, a shift engine, really, where you can actually have multiple rules, multiple shift rules, multiple overtime rules. It's unlimited. And then you can apply those different rules to different jobs, different employees, or different groups. Prime example, if you have, maybe as a default overtime rule for your company, it's anything after 40. Okay, but maybe you have one group, maybe you've got a union where for those guys it's anything after 8 in a day and weekends, right? And then when does double time kick in? So we have the ability in WorkMax where we can set up multiple rules and then apply those different rules, yes, to different jobs, different codes, different groups or employees.
Excellent. Thank you for everybody for attending today. I know there's a lot of questions that came in. We'll make sure that we gather all of those and follow up with everybody with the appropriate people and the appropriate answers. Hopefully today we learned a little bit about Foundation as well as WorkMax. I wanted to make sure everybody has all the contact information for everybody in their respective products. And also want to kind of touch on some of the other software products under the Foundation family. So kind of giving everybody a nice list of everything that we do. And if anybody does have additional questions, you can reach out to Ron or I. I'll be more than happy to answer anything and everything that you need. And once again, Ron, thank you for being on today's webinar, and also thank you for everybody who attended.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, guys. Appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day.